for people who are having challenges with insomnia, it's not just affected by your, your physical space, but it can impact your mental space too. So slower processing speeds,
Mm.
I'm less foggy, I can't think very clearly, I'm irritable. Irritation, we can get very irritable and short tempered if I haven't had good sleep. And then memory, sometimes I can't remember everything or focus as easily. So these things are not just, your space, it's your mental space, it's your mental health, and it's your physical health overall, because even our physical bodies can be impacted negatively by poor sleep habits.
Welcome to Reframe and Reclaim. We are Courtney Huckabee, a psychotherapist,
and Jen Harris, an interior designer
who have teamed up to reflect,
challenge,
and reframe your mindset in relationship with your personal belongings. Find the reframe.
Start your reclaim.
Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Reframe and Reclaim. I'm Jen Harris.
And I'm Courtney Huckabee.
And today we're discussing one of our favorite topics.
One of my favorite hobbies.
Sleep. So it is coming up on National Sleep Awareness Week.
It is.
And so we wanted to take a little time to talk about how your space and your environment can really affect your sleep patterns and steps you can take to help get a better sleep at night. So
we've done a little research, because who doesn't like to sleep,
children.
Our children. But according to the National Sleep Foundation, there's actually about 60 million people in America that do struggle with insomnia. And we're really here to talk about reframe and reclaim our space and how it impacts our mental health. And a lot of people think insomnia is like, I just can never sleep. And that's really not true. There's a lot of different symptoms of insomnia. So we want to do a little education about insomnia. And then also, like, how can we use reframe and reclaim to help you if you are struggling with insomnia? So insomnia can look like a lot of things. One, it can look like I just have a hard time getting to sleep. It can look like I wake up too early and I'm not feeling rested. It can also be that I wake up in the middle of the night a lot and I'm not getting really good sleep patterns. So I'm not feeling that full sleep whenever I wake up. And also it can mean that I have anxiety and stress around sleep time, which is another piece of insomnia. And so we really want to talk about how your space that you're in at night, how to reframe and reclaim that space for relaxation, to help our minds and our bodies relax, and to be able to just reclaim that beautiful sleep time.
Oh, yes. I mean, who couldn't use more sleep, right?
I love more sleep.
I mean, I know I have personally experienced all of those symptoms and, things that you just mentioned. So what does it say about like our bedtime routine? Because I know bedtime routines can be very important.
Yes. So we call this sleep hygiene. So, we have our oral hygiene, but sleep hygiene is actually a really important thing. And it's how well I keep my sleep patterns, or how well I keep my sleep routines going. And just like we have muscle memory for, riding a bike, or muscle memory for playing the piano, our bodies get into a muscle memory of habit at bedtime. And so what are your habits at bedtime that might be keeping you from getting really good restful sleep? So what some of the suggestions are to make sure that your sleeping space isn't doing double duty. We don't want to have a sleeping space and a working space, because then my brain might get confused.
Yes.
Is it work time or is it sleep time? Another example is exercise. A lot of people might have, I'm doing yoga in my bedroom, or I'm doing the Peloton in my bedroom, or, my bedroom is for when I do push-ups. But then our brain also gets a little confused of, is it workout? I need to be in tune and energized, or is it I need to sleep? So if you have work, if you're having exercise, or if you're having entertainment time, which might be the screens and the TVs, Stanford University, the Cleveland Clinic, and a lot of other really great research organizations are saying, make that just a space for sleep and relaxation.
Yes, that is always very, very good information. I mean, especially coming from the professionals saying this, because I think everybody thinks this, right? We're like, oh, I know I should do this. But it's like they've actually done studies to reinforce this. From an interior design standpoint, it's also things like not having extremely bright colors in your bedroom if that's something that triggers
Yes.
your energy, right? So reds, yellows, those more intense shades, oranges, those warmer, intense tones can really, trigger your brain to be like, oh, it's time to be active. It's time to
Energetic
get up.
and
Yes.
awake and alert. And so thinking about like the colors of your bedroom, not just the
Mm-hmm.
walls, but the accent pillows
Mm-hmm.
or the blankets. Some other really great things is to make sure that you have a cool room. So
Yes.
heat is something it's really hard to rest when we're really hot and uncomfortable. And so about 60 to 68 degrees is the recommended temperature for a well thermostated temperatured room, which is great if you're up north, but if you're down south like we are, it's not always good for the electricity
Bill,
bill.
right?
Yes.
But I have noticed in the cooler months when we turn our heat off and just kind of bear through it and just kind of enjoy the coolness, the 60 degrees, the 65
At
degrees.
night.
Yes. But I've noticed that my kids definitely sleep a lot longer if it's cooler in their bedroom. So, and myself as well, as long as I've got, good snuggly blankets. But yeah.
A cooler room to temperature, a temperatured room is actually going to help you sleep better. Another thing is having quiet. And so I know there's a lot of people who struggle with their minds going at night. I know I'm one of them.
Me
My
too.
mind has a lot on its plate. And so having quiet can really help. So some people like the TV on at night to go to sleep or like the radio to go to sleep. It's actually not most beneficial in the long run because your
Interesting.
brain is trying to attend to that while it's trying to sleep. And so it can be doing double duty again. It's called the multitasking of your brain, which is not the best for your brain to do.
That's really interesting because I find, I mean, I'm a sound machine kind of person, but I noticed in college my sleep routine was I would have the exact same song play when it was bedtime. And so then my mind's like, oh, it's sleep time because the same song is playing.
And that goes back to that memory and
Right,
habit.
right.
So if I have a go to sleep song, they do say if you're playing quieter music, more instrumental music, more
Yes.
calming music, it can kind of get your body and your brain relaxed. So I don't think it's a bad thing. Also, sound machines, white noise, pink noise, brown noise, gray noise.
So many colors.
There's lots of colors of noise. It's kind of fun. But brown noise is actually the best noise for our circadian rhythms. So that is actually a really helpful rhythmic sound to help us to fall asleep more easier.
I just had a funny thought of like, here's white noise, and here's brown noise.
It is. It's a lower. It's a lower hertz of. Yeah,
is that?
It is. And I don't know all the research. I've done some reading on it because I do have some people in my family that have a hard time sleeping. Clients also come in with a lot of symptoms of insomnia as well. And so we talk about lots of different things to just help them at home, but also what we do in the therapy office as well.
So what do you do for your personal sleep routine and to help you sleep at night?
I am a creature of habit. I have to say, I love a good routine. It helps me not forget things. I don't have to like rethink the wheel each time I go to bed. So I have a certain sequence of events that I do every night, and I do those events. And then as I getting closer and closer to bedtime, I'm excited to get into bed, and my mind can rest a little bit more. But what I used to do before I had children is I used to do some journaling because my mind is a very busy mind. And just writing down like your day or writing down like the things that you did that day, your thoughts and feelings, just some reflection can also let your mind rest. It's somewhere else. I don't have to hold on to it, that mental load. So journaling can be really, really helpful as well. But have you done anything in your routines to help you sleep better?
Yes. So one of the things that I'm really bad about is if I wake up, I'm up. And so if I wake up in the middle of the night and I have to go use the restroom, then I'm usually up for several hours. And that's just, my body's just ready to go. My brain's on. So I try to stop drinking water, like an hour or two before I go to sleep. I also end up I stay up later than my kids, but I brush my teeth at the same time my kids do because that prevents me from late night snacking.
That's very
And so
good.
because I'm lazy and I don't want to brush my teeth again. So
I can't brush my teeth again.
That's right.
I can't eat anymore.
And then I do like to play like a consistent song or something. I know everybody loves this, and you can't have fresh sheets every single night, but I
Mm,
love getting into
clean.
crisp, clean sheets, and
Yes.
like they're all snug and tight around you. That's one of my
I
favorites.
do like getting into bed when I know that there's fresh sheets on the bed.
Yes.
That's one of those
Something to
things.
look forward to, right?
Yes, yes. And talking about drinking less water at night, also reducing how much screen use you have closer to bed. So
Hmm.
turning screens off, whether it's your phone or whether it's the TV or your computer, at least an hour before bed can actually help you because those blue lights are the same as that really bright and vibrant color. It actually alerts us to be awake. And also drinking water, is really great for little kids and adults, but they say drinking alcohol more actually creates more
Yeah.
insomnia as well. Because alcohol does help us get to sleep fast, but we don't get to go through all the
Deep
cycles
sleep.
of
Yeah.
sleep to get us more restful sleep. So less alcohol, less, screens, more quiet, and then dark is another
Oh,
one.
yes. Yeah. The more pitch black, the better for me.
Yeah. And so if you see like, little lights through the blinds, or if, you have a night light on so your kid can get through the hallway and it's, coming through the bedroom crack, sometimes those can like just kind of be an extra distraction
Yeah.
for restful sleep.
And I know they say like no screen times before bed and all that, but my family will attest if there is an action movie on, I will sleep through it. So that is one of my other tricks, especially the climactic like battle scene at the end. I'll stay awake for the whole movie, and then as soon as the big battle scene is like, I know how this is going to end. The good guy wins. I'm out.
You're like, I can project this
Yeah.
movie. I've already got it figured out. I don't have to pay attention anymore.
Exactly. I'll see you in the
That's so
morning.
fun. Yeah, my husband knows that if I get still enough, I get quiet and I get sleepy. So if I'm not up and moving,
Yeah.
it's very easy for me to get into that restful state as well.
Now, are you good at staying asleep once you're asleep, or?
I never sleep throughout the whole night.
Yeah.
No, I think since I've become a mom, my ear is just keen to like, what noise do I hear? Is everything okay? But I will say if I'm waking up in the middle of the night, I can go back to sleep really easily. There are some meditations that I've practiced personally and introduced a lot of mindfulness and meditation to clients as well. So that's become another tool for me, is creating some restful meditation if I am having a hard time going to sleep, or if I'm woken up in the middle of the night and trying to get back to sleep. So that can be really helpful.
I've done deep breathing has helped a lot, and I do a lot of like breathe in for a count of 4, hold for a count of 4, breathe out for a count of 4, hold for a count of 4.
Yep.
And I do that a few times. That seems to wear my body down pretty good.
Well, it doesn't wear your body down, but
my mind.
It activates your parasympathetic nervous system.
Oh, so sympathetic.
You're so sympathetic. So the sympathetic is like the arousal, and so you have the heavier breathing, you'll have the fast breathing, you have the heartbeats going. But if you intentionally slow your breathing, it will again be connected to your heart rate, and then my mind will start to slow down. And so that's a very great somatic or biological thing you can do. Instead of just like thinking of something, I can do something. And another thing you can do, which I can attest to, is read a chapter book. So we have a great chapter book.
Not that it'll put you to sleep, but
no. But
yes.
what's different in that is you're having to attend to, keeping up with, my mind is, keeping up with longer stretches of ideas, of connecting different thoughts and things along the way, keeping up with the storyline, and that can create a lot of mental effort, which tires our brain down. So not those TikTok videos that are really fast, or watching some short videos on YouTube.
Yeah.
Anything that's going to be high intensity is just going to alert us more. So something that is not easily fast turnover will help our brain also not be so fast to turn over.
Another thing, going back to your environment and how your space and how you can reframe it and reclaim it, is take some time, lay in your bed. And when you think about when you wake up in the morning, what is the first thing your eye goes to? Is it like a pile of clutter on the corner that needs to like be donated? Is it a pile of clothes that need to be hung up? So think of like those little symptomatic areas in your room that start to trigger your brain on, and just take 5-10 minutes at night, get your space settled and ready for sleep, And just
Mhm.
even if you do that for a week, just 10 minutes a week, then your room will be settled,
Yes.
and then you'll have a routine, and you
Mhm.
can start that, yeah, add that into your sleep routine. So,
I will say, having a tidy space, it helps a lot of women because
mhm.
women are much more impacted with stress and cortisol in a cluttered or chaotic environment. So if you're a woman who's in your space and you're seeing some like little, hidden corners or whatever that are creating some distress for you, like Jen said, that might be part of your nightly routine of, these clothes that have been on the drying rack. I'm thinking of my room right now. The weekend is when
Or
we
a
do
treadmill,
laundry.
you know.
Yeah, I am going to hang those clothes up in the closet, put that drying rack away so that I can actually have more floor space and more open space. Less things that I have to think about when I wake up in the morning. Oh, I need to hang those
Mhm.
clothes up. And so the same thing when you have mail, if you're wherever you're keeping your mail, or if you have kids' toys, or whatever it is that has maybe accumulated over the day or the weekend, creating some kind of habit before bedtime so that your room can be a little cleaner, your mind can be a little more restful, and your space can be more relaxing.
Yes, and one thing that really contributes to that is like having a place for everything,
Hmm.
right? And not having overflow things or
Right.
overfilling the space. So your shoes are coming out of the closet, or your shoes are coming out of from under the bed, right? And then I can attest, then it's a lot less likely you will trip on things in the middle of the night in your dark room when you're trying to get up and go to the restroom. So,
Yes, yes. And I will say it's kind of funny that you talk about the shoes and the things because my work week is very filled. It's everything from waking up in the morning to getting my kid ready in the morning to getting to the office on time for clients and picking up the kid at childcare on time and making sure he has dinner. I
I'm
don't
exhausted just to hear that.
it's it
I
is
need I
it's
need a nap.
it is an action pack. But my closet, I mean, my shoes stay in my closet, but you'll see like 4 or 5 pairs of shoes out. And then my Sunday, when I'm starting to get
Mm.
ready for putting my laundry away for the weekend that I've cleaned, I put my shoes away as well. And I'm like, oh, I can actually walk through my closet and not like have to like rumble through the shoes. So I just realized one of my habits, which is it's it works, it's fine, it's out of my vision, but
Mhm.
it might be more helpful to put my shoes away during the work week so it's less stress getting ready in the morning.
And then one last thing to do on the weekend. Do you have a little more Sunday time?
Yes, yes, because I'm just like, and get ready for the next week. So,
Right.
but I will say, for people who are having challenges with insomnia, it's not just affected by your physical space, but it can impact your mental space too. So, slower processing speeds.
Mm.
I'm less foggy. I can't think very clearly. I'm irritable. Irritation. We can get very irritable and short tempered if I haven't had good sleep. And then memory, sometimes I can't remember everything or focus as easily. So these things are not just, your space, it's your mental space, it's your mental health, and it's your physical health overall. Because even our physical bodies can be impacted negatively by poor sleep habits.
Yeah, and I definitely remember that, like in early childhood days of babies up all night. It's like I was able to do more than I thought I could on such little sleep, but it made me realize how much better I do those things, how much quicker, and
Mhm.
how much better I feel with sleep. So,
Yeah. And if you are a young mom or if you are a young professional or wherever you are in life and you feel like I have to be productive and do, and I need to have more productive time or active time and less sleep time, we really should be sleeping about a third of our lives. So a third of your day is, just kind of mapping out simply 1/3 of our day really does need to be, just contributed to sleep time and sleep availability. And so 8 hours of sleep is really important for so many of us, and sometimes more if you are sleep deprived or
mhm.
trying to catch up on sleep, or if you've had a very mentally stressful or very physically stressful day. Our body does need to recoup and rest in order to be able to function well the next day.
And this is where I would say, from a design standpoint, really putting quality over quantity in things like your mattress, your pillow, your bedding. And I would go, like, if you're on a certain budget, I would spend less on the style of your decor and getting like a certain type of furniture, make sure it's functional, but really make sure your bed is very comfortable. So furniture should be functional where things are hidden away and so your environment's clean, but the bed is where I would put my money. So
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Having a really good quality sleep mattress, it's a great
mhm,
investment. And it's an investment not just in, the comfort of your sleep, but also your physical health, your mental health as well.
yeah.
Wonderful. So, if you have any tips or tricks or strategies that you've implemented that you think have helped you in your sleep, please comment, share with us. We are up for all ideas because all of us can get a little more restful sleep, I'm sure. But if you would like more information on how to start, maybe tidying up your space or where to start in your closet or your bedroom, we have a wonderful resource, Reframe and Reclaim. It's a 7-step guide to reframing your relationship with your belongings and reclaiming your physical space and your peace of mind.
So be sure to like and subscribe, share this with someone if they have trouble sleeping, share your comments, and we'll see you next time.